where dreams take flight. You're here to guide young minds to shine your light. With open hearts and open doors, we'll teach and learn forevermore.
My name's Hannah Spencer. I am the Hub Lead at Yorkshire Endeavour English Hub. We are one of 34 English hubs appointed by the DFE to help schools to improve early reading, early language and language development. I've worked in school improvement for around 8 years now and 5 years for the English Hub as a literacy specialist before I became Hub Lead. This session is all about oracy, the importance of talk and language development. And we start with this session because we know that communication and language provide the foundations for learning, for thinking and for children's well-being. The number of quality interactions that children hear and participate in really does have a knock-on effect to the rest of their lives and allows them to access the curriculum that we're teaching them. So in today's session, we unpicked the word gap and the different starting points that children might be coming into our schools with in terms of interaction and delayed language. We then unpicked how we can get children to become confident speakers, confident, eloquent speakers, starting with the Shrek model, which is about sustained, shared thinking and interaction. So sharing the Shrek model and the EEF guidelines for interaction, we then establish effective talk between adult and child. We then moved on to what questions we can ask children and encourage children to ask back using Blank's levels of questioning, moving from the concrete questioning of what is this to more abstract problem-solving thinking. From there, we talked about the model of accountable talk, where children need the knowledge to be able to talk about something, the reasoning skills to be able to explain their thinking, and then that community element of talk as well, where we're showing our listening and responding appropriately. Included Voice 21's talk tactics here, where children have different sentence stems and structures and scaffolds for talk, things like clarifying and summarising and asking probing questions and making sure that we're building or challenging with each other to create that environment for effective and confident talk in our classrooms that should be included in every single lesson. In the second part of today's session, we talked about vocabulary and vocabulary use across the curriculum. So the first thing we did was looked at the different tiers of words created by Isabella Beck in her work on bringing words to life, talked about the difference between tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 words. We looked at some quality texts and saw where can we find these words, utilising those as our first point, and then talking about how we teach those words explicitly from the texts, but then also using it in different contexts and revisiting that language, looking at Ebbinghaus's forgetting curve, making sure that children are exposed to that vocabulary again and again so that they remember it. We start with this session on language, interaction and talk because it really is the bedrock of the rest of the curriculum. Not only is it going to improve their academic success, but it's also helping the whole child in terms of their mental health, relationships, ability to form healthy, strong relationships with themselves and with others through talk and effective communication. We cover vocabulary in this session as well because, again, there's not a single subject that doesn't require us to identify those words within that subject discipline and then teach them explicitly. We also look at those tier 2 words that can be used across a range of different disciplines, contexts and subjects, making sure that we are linking up as primary practitioners words with the rest of our curriculum. So I've drawn on the Education Endowment Foundation's research on literacy and oracy, which is mentioned in the Preparing for Literacy guidance reports, the Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 guidance reports, and also drawn on research from the EEF in terms of metacognition and how children learn in terms of teaching vocabulary. I have unpicked the sections around language and vocabulary from the 2023 reading framework released by the DFE, and also drawn on Voice 21's work, including the Oracy benchmark and reports, and also talked about So I've drawn on the Education Endowment Foundation's research on literacy and oracy, which is mentioned in the Preparing for Literacy guidance reports, the Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 guidance reports, and also drawn on research from the EEF in terms of metacognition and how children learn in terms of teaching vocabulary. I have unpicked the sections around language and vocabulary from the 2023 reading framework released by the DFE, and also drawn on Voice 21's work, including the Oracy benchmark and reports. And I've also used Isabella Beck's work in her book Bringing Words to Life, which has also influenced the EEF research and the reading framework on how to teach words and how to identify different tiered words to then utilise in different subjects and areas of provision, and how to revisit that over time. The key concept that I want our trainees to take away with them is that the quality and quantity of high quality talk and discussion can help children to consolidate their understanding, to articulate their ideas, and to deepen their vocabulary and background knowledge. I would like our trainees to apply this back at school by ensuring there's lots of opportunities for talk, debate and discussion in every single lesson, using questioning, the blanks levels of questioning that we've talked about today, within every single lesson and every single subject to really promote that deep talk and deep thinking. I'd also like them to use high quality texts and identify tier 2 and tier 3 words to teach explicitly, that they can revisit over time and look for that in children's spoken word and in their writing and reading comprehension too. Mentors can help their trainees back in school by providing them with their vocabulary progression documents, their teaching of oracy policies, and ensure that all of the content included in today's training in terms of teaching vocabulary through quality texts and setting up structures for effective talk in classrooms is included in their lesson plans and in their delivery.
Step into the classroom with courage and grace. Inspire and nurture every child's face. Be patient, be kind, and always stay true. Plow your own furrow, 'cause it starts with you.